and John Henry from johnhenry.us. Welcome to A Reframe. Today we are reframing conspiracy theories. I had some things happen to me over the last week or so that got me thinking about how easy it is to look at a series of events and start taking it personally or thinking somebody's out to get you. In this case, I produced a video a little while back about Dr. Oz and the Pennsylvania Senate race. It was about 2 minutes. It was very heavy. Very political ad type, playing to controversy and to strong words. Nothing that can be supported with fact and reason, but still expressed in no unflinching terms, and very anti-plutocracy, very anti-capitalist. This video was marked within seconds of its release by the Disney company, claiming that it owns some of the audio on the video, which was not true. Facebook then sanctioned my account, stopped the distribution of the video, basically hid it from everybody's timeline, and a week goes by. I, of course, file a challenge. A week goes by, and a week to the minute that the original complaint was filed, Walt Disney says, "Oh yeah, our bad." So in the meantime, what happens is my video wasn't distributed. Facebook has added black marks against my account that prevent me from doing certain things and choke the propagation on my posts, which they have not taken back off, even though the complaint was dropped. Right? And so now all of a sudden, here you've got me, this radical leftist, trying to make a point about plutocracy and a plutocrat running into a brick wall of plutocratic bureaucracy that is intended to stop voices like mine. Does that sound like conspiracy? You could sure make it into one real fast, and I could turn it into a money play real fast. They're out to get me. Here are the things Disney doesn't want you to hear. Facebook is trying to stop me. I can do all that shit, but I'd be lying, and I'd know I was lying. Okay, it doesn't require a formal organized conspiracy. Mark Zuckerberg and the people that drive Disney don't need to get together and decide, oh, we got to get that John Henry guy. They just build systems that are going to catch anybody like me and not stop us overtly, not throw us in chains and be all radical and obvious like that, but they do it subtly. They get in your way with broken bureaucracy. Oh, sorry, it's just, a little mistake. We made an error. We'll get it fixed. But in the meantime, the real consequences of these little breaks and these minor petty annoyances that are deliberately inserted into pathways of information cause that information to be diluted, diverted, and ultimately unheard. Is that intentional? Probably not explicitly. Probably nobody that constructed these systems did so with the explicit thought of, we're going to try to censor speech. But they did it because they wanted to make sure that it was easy as possible for plutocrats to make claims of ownership against other people's property and allow them to inflict damage on the people that they are accusing without consequences, and then rescind the accusation after it's no longer relevant that the information that they have stifled be allowed to get out, right? That video that I dropped, at the time, it was relevant. Now, not so much so. At the time, it would have made a big deal, and it started to take off for the first few seconds, and then that DMCA complaint hit, and bang, they took it off everybody's feeds, and basically you had to go to my page and look for the video to ever see it. Consequently, rather than being seen by thousands of people, it was seen by dozens. Consequently, the message didn't get out. Consequently, there are a whole lot of energized progressives in Pennsylvania right now who could be remembering that in April of 2020, Dr. Oz suggested on Fox News out loud and without the slightest bit of irony or shame that the American parents would be okay with sacrificing 1 million to 1.5 million kids to COVID so we could get the economy started again. He said that. He said you would go along with that. Right? And that should be an important campaign talking point against Dr. Oz. But that conversation has now been lost because of just, oops, accidents. Oops, sorry, it's just the way the system works. It's not personal. We didn't do it intentionally. It just happens that way. Right? And this is why it's important to be able to cultivate defenses against falling into, paranoia. And things like that, when you're considering the things that go on in the world. The first thing, you have to cultivate the habit, lifelong, recursively, of honest self-evaluation for bias. Anything that you take in and have a reaction to of agreement or disagreement, you need to be asking yourself, Why? Does this empirically support itself? Does it hold up to logical scrutiny, critical analysis, reasoning? Right? Because sometimes it's gonna not. Sometimes you're just gonna like it because it appeals to how you think of yourself, or how you want to present yourself to the world, or what you think your values are, or so on and so forth. But you start to look at it closely and it falls apart. And the problem with not catching that stuff, and the problem with not cultivating that ability and that habit of honest self-evaluation for bias, is that then all of a sudden we start making decisions based on bad information, and we start ignoring our own fallibility. And that's when things tend to start getting really, really ugly. On social media, you can resist, and you have to resist the urge to just click every, graphic that you agree with, and every headline that says something that you think sounds like something that you would agree with, or more, it sounds like something that somebody you don't like would agree with, and it makes you angry. Well, that sure sounds like something he'd say. That sure sounds like something she'd do, without checking it. You share that, now all of a sudden the person you're trying to take down has absolutely every legitimate case in the world to stand up and say, well, obviously they're lying. Why should we be taking anything they say seriously? I am above reproach. You're cutting your own throat. You're your own worst enemies when you're doing stuff like that. We are our own worst enemies. I'm not immune. I'm human too. I'm just trained in this stuff. Every engagement is a political act with social and political consequences. Every time you like something, you're telling other people that it's okay for them to like it. Every time you dislike something, you're telling other people that it's okay for them to dislike it. This is how Donald Trump empowered white supremacy and fascism in America. He appealed to that third or so of people that can be appealed to on those levels, and gave them permission to be who they are openly and without shame. And that's what makes him so popular. So remember that everything that you do is a political act. Every time you're sharing, every time you're liking, you are endorsing whoever created that, and you want to take the time to know who that is and who's making the money, who benefits. Thanks again for joining Reframe. That's one person's perspective. If you agree, disagree, like, whatever, dislike, want to argue with me about it, the comment section is right down there. By all means, drop in, say what you've got to say, and we'll see where it goes from there. So thank you once again for being part of this, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, the support links, they're rotating through the lower left of your screen. Thanks again very much. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll see you next time.